I want to talk through how to be able to draw a garment from different angles despite only seeing it from one angle. And it's not magic, it's not me being able to see into the future. It's just the information that is in this garment and in this photo is a lot more than people kind of realize. So when people are like, oh, I don't know how to draw that, I don't, you know, it's kind of just, if you look and analyze a picture deeper, a picture tells 1,000 words. So let's start with this one because I'm too lazy to move to another one. Obviously we can draw it from the front. So how about if we wanted to draw it from the side? First of all, put a profile in. Again, I'm not looking for a likeness. I can see roughly what she might look like from the side, but again, it's guesswork. So I'm not too bothered by it. She's got a buzz cut and quite strong eyebrows, that's enough, you know. So what you can do to make this easier is obviously just put the framework down first if you want to. So, you know, if you just sketch out the body very loosely like this, and then the arm here, you know, that gives you something to work with. So as we see on the collar here, they're not even. So if we're drawing her from this angle, this collar would be, you wouldn't see that part there. It would be all the way around like that. We see it as a bit of ribbon here. Okay, so then we look at the shoulder and we see that, you know, this is probably even. We're taking a gamble, we're taking a guess, but this is probably even like the other side. So if we put that shaping in there, so we've got one layer here and then we've got the second layer here. So that is the shoulders done. So we can just fill that in. Now we know that this is probably, looks like a jumper or a t-shirt or something. So that is probably longer at the back as it is here, because there it's probably its sleeves. So just because we've all tied a jumper behind our back, we all know what that looks like. It's going to be something like this. But again, that could just be a belt. So if I'm ever really like, oh, maybe I should check, just look at the videos and stuff. But that is, you know, put that information there like that. So now we've got this kind of detailing which is stemming from here. So we can see that these lines go and that they curve here. So I'm going to hazard a guess and say that they end, you know, halfway around the body. So something like that. And then you can actually see the bra through it. So if you wanted to go extra detailed, just add in a little hint of that. So arms, she hasn't got anything on her arms, so just add that in. So now this is when we get to the fun bit. I'm going to move this around so we can see, because we can see that this part here is going over here and going round. We know that this dress has a framework underneath and it's kind of a cylinder, not a cylinder, it's like a circle. So we know, because we can see that there's shaping here, there's shadow here, which means that this is further back and this is forward. So we know that that shaping is going to be something like that. And more than likely, obviously might be wrong, but it's probably going to be like that the whole way around. So we know we can sort of give the shape like this. Okay, and we can just fill the framework part in. So you've got some more fabric that we can see here, more fabric here. And then we know that that's just going to be the same no matter which way around you see it. So we can just see the fabric like that. And just fill that in. And then if you look carefully, you can see that the ribbons that were around the belt, the hip area, fall down, and then there's separate elements here. So we know that we can kind of play with that there. And then all we do is then add in our shoes. So I can see from the angle that her feet are at, that her feet aren't, it's not a super high heel. It's kind of more of like a flat with a slight incline. So we can do something like this. There's 3 flowers there, and then voila. So, you know, all the information that you can want is there up to a certain extent. We obviously don't know, you know, if the back is fully like that and stuff, but more than enough for us to be able to make a calculated, educated guess. You know, if I were to draw this guy from the back, so back of the head like that. So we've all worn a shirt in our life. We know how the collar is at the back. It will be raised like this. You know, you would still see the collar there. He's got some kind of vest on, so we can see where that ends on either side. It's going to be the exact same on the back. The sleeves are going to be the exact same. You see the body, it tapers the body in, but you know, it's going to be the exact same from the back. So we know that this ribbing here is going to be the whole way round. So we've got that on the arms too. Trouser wise, a slight bagginess to them. So we can get the shaping like that. We all know what trousers look like from behind. You just kind of, you know, put the shaping there like that, and that's it. And then the arms, whatever you want to do with them, you know that the shaping is going to be the same. So we can put one in the pocket. We can put one down by his, down by his side. And then the shoes, can't really see them, so we just make it up. You know, they're probably just going to be normal shoes in the back. So obviously we don't know if there's a little dog on the other side, but in terms of getting the shaping and everything in, that's all you need to know. There's probably like a pocket here, but again, that's just guessing. If I wanted to draw this lady here from the back, again, same start, so we just draw the head. You can see her earrings. We can see that the coat is slightly raised, or there's a kind of a collar that's wrapped around her like that. Then she's got these broad shoulders, or the coat's got broad shoulders. Sorry, Les. We see how wide that coat goes. So we just draw the shaping in here. We know where it ends, so we know that the only thing that's going to be seen from there is about half of the calf and her foot. So something like this. You can see all the sleeve detailings. And then just from experience, a lot of coats have like a seam here, and then they might have like a little patch there or something, but that's just from observation. But this one might not have that, but you never know. And then just because of the wind machine again, I'd like to have this kind of referenced. And then drawing shoes from behind is just a case of practice. I've done it a few times, and you just kind of see the shapes. So something a bit like that. She's a bit knock-kneed, but you know, and then you just finish that off. So the details are all there. It's just it's kind of a recipe or a mix of the details that you see from the front, information that you know from clothes anyway, from just wearing them or seeing them, and then the other thing is just hoping for the best and imagination. So it's, you know, analyzing shapes as well. So this one here, you can see that if we were to draw her from the side, the hoodie goes up to here, so it would be covering her hair at the back. So it would be, wait, which side am I drawing her? That's like that. So we can see that this is quite a bulky garment. There's quite a lot of shape to it. So we can see that the shaping would be, you know, a bit oversized like this. So her face is there. Her hair is all there, so we can just put that in. So we know we're not going to see any of this information because it's further back than the hoodie. So we know that it's not, you know, you won't see it, so we won't draw it. So the next thing that we'll draw is the skirt. The skirt we can see is tight to the body one side and draped the other. So we're doing the draping side, so we can see it's all pinned to here. So if we get that shaping like that, and then you're kind of just making it up basically. Because I want to show that it's shorter the other side than this side, I'd probably have one of her legs be, you know, a little bit more forward. Like that, and then the other leg just kind of being like that. And we can see that the boot is the same sort of hem, or kind of ends where the hem of the skirt is. Be something like that. And then you can go in and just fill the details that you can see like that. So I'm not expecting you guys to be able to do this straight away, but I just wanted to break down the process that it's not magic and it's not rocket science. It's just taking a leap of faith, a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of imagination, and a little bit of faith. If I were to draw this, I'd probably just map out a face like this. Kind of want to extend that. I think maybe it's nice to show it slightly from the side because it's a sort of more curvier silhouette. So something like this, you know, maybe have it come round like that. Like it's a pretty stereotypical pose that I might do, you know, something like this. And then once I've got that kind of framework down, I'd be like, okay, like where's the information? So we know that that is there, that's there, so that's going to come down to about here. We know that that's there. We can see that this goes right up to the armpit, so that means it's not draped around the side, it's kind of tight there. So we can see it's all skin tight like that. You can see it's skin tight here. There is a little bit of give here because of how far that foot is away. So I know that there is a bit of movement and flexibility, so she could have one leg more forward than the other to make for a more interesting pose, but it would still have to kind of follow the framework. So hair would be, you know, we're gonna get it in the wind because it's what I like to do. These parts, because there's kind of movement to them, they're slightly separate from the garment. We can, you know, have a bit of fun with those. You can see little parts of these textures here, getting those textures in here. Just taking little elements from the garment. I'm not really being very precise, but it's just to give an overall, I don't know what the word is, an overall impression of it. And then just draw the face. I'd say wrong with it, the way I've sharpened these pencils, I don't know what I did, but the lead is like angled one way. So when I think I'm drawing, it's actually like 2 millimeters away from that. Very strange. So we put the hair in, do something with the arm. That's the stereotypical arm that I might draw as well. And that's kind of how I would put together, just drawing something a little bit from, it's not really from imagination, but it's kind of accentuating the pose, changing it a bit, making things up and just relying on that. So yeah, that's kind of how I would use it in real life. So something like that.